Alright, welcome back to the show. Today, this is the most complicated video I have. If I look sweaty, it's because I'm very sweaty. It's very hot in here. And if you're a YouTuber, you know you cannot have a ceiling fan on, you cannot have an AC running because it's too loud. You just gotta get hot. So, we are talking about my favorite part of basketball, taxes. I love it. I don't know why I love this stuff, but I do. Let's talk about the NBA salary cap real quick, because I already have a video on the NBA salary cap. The salary cap is soft. What does that mean? It means that there really isn't a cap. If you hit $123 million, that's the salary cap. Now you have to use exceptions to sign players. You can sign whatever free agent you want if you're under $123 million. Once you hit $123 million, now you have to use exceptions. Now you have to know how to break the rules. If you want to learn how to break the rules, watch my exceptions videos. So now you're over the salary cap. Now you got to pay luxury tax, right? No, not yet. You only have to pay luxury tax until you hit $150 million. That is the tax line. So there's this fun little middle ground where you can go over the cap and you don't have to pay luxury tax. But once you hit the luxury tax, now you're paying money. And there are 12 teams this year that are over the tax line. There are 12 teams paying the luxury tax. Basketball is lucrative for owners. Remember that. They're investing a lot of money. They're paying a lot of luxury tax to make better basketball teams. And these guys are NBA owners. They're rich guys. They didn't get rich from not loving money. If I had a booger in my nose this entire time, just let it go. Don't leave comments saying
you had a booger in your nose the whole time.
Actually, leave a comment. It'll be good for engagement. Who cares? So you've gone over the tax line. Now, let's take a look at this grid. What is luxury tax? Basically, you have to pay money on every dollar that you've gone over the cap. You got to pay that dollar to that player, but you've also got to pay the league extra money. Specifically, $1.75 for every dollar you're over. So now you're paying your player, but you're also giving the league even more money. And it goes up if you're over 15 to 20 million over the cap. It's $250 for that amount of money. And it's $325 if you're 15 to 20, and then if you're over 20, it's $3.75. For every dollar you spend over $20 million, you got to send $3.75 over to the league, and it's actually more if you go over that. I'm not going to get into that. Just look at the grid. Look at the grid. If you're frying an egg, if you're folding laundry while watching this video, stop right now and just look at the grid. A picture is worth 1,000 words, or if you don't feel like it, don't worry about it. You're just folding laundry and you need something to feel less alone, or maybe not hear bumps in the night. I don't know. Much love. I don't know why you're watching this video. Where does that money go? Where does the luxury tax money go? Does it go to the poor? Does it go to the impoverished? No, it goes to the teams that stayed below the tax line, the teams that behaved well. They get that money. It's evenly distributed. Personally, I think it should go to the teams that performed the best that year that didn't go over the tax line, because that means you're a good organization. You're not just throwing tons of money at your team and hoping for the best. You're actually behaving and you're managing your team. You're signing the right free agents. You're growing the right players, and you're playing well. So that's what I believe. I think it should go to the teams that didn't go over the tax line but performed very well. It will also eliminate some tanking. Think about that and let me know what you think. Okay, but money doesn't solve everything, right? Money doesn't buy happiness. Think about Steve Ballmer. Steve Ballmer has $100 billion, which is kind of interesting because it makes this whole payroll look like a drop in the bucket. It doesn't really matter. So in theory, Steve Ballmer could re-sign his own players, use exceptions, and just go way over the cap. The thing is, he still might not be good. And he isn't good. They didn't even make the playoffs this year, and they had one of the highest payrolls in the league. So just because you have tons of money doesn't mean you're gonna put the best product out there. Let's take Joe Lacob. Joe Lacob has $1.7 billion. That's basically 1% of what Steve Ballmer has. That's insane. So before you say the Golden State Warriors have loads of money, they don't. That's not true. Joe Lacob just spends money on his team. He just cares about basketball, and you gotta respect that. And if you don't respect that, you've got problems with you, because he wants the NBA to be good, and if you're watching this video, so do you. So you gotta respect the Golden State Warriors. And they're about to run into a crisis because Poole, Wiggins, and Green all want max money. They all want huge deals, and they are already $158 million over the tax line. They are paying tons of money in luxury tax, or I misspoke. They're paying $158 million in luxury tax. Basically, that's what their payroll is, okay? So Joe Lacob is forking it out, and he's not gonna be able to pay all these players. So they're going to run into a fork in the road. They're going to run into a situation where there are going to be a lot of guys that are salty and unhappy and are going to sign other places. But the Golden State Warriors will still probably be good. Back to the Clippers. The Clippers are now probably in the next couple of years going to be the highest tax-paying team in the league because Ballmer has the most money, all right? But you still have to learn how to finesse the system in order to be good, because you can sign tons tons of players, you can re-sign your players, you can use exceptions, but you can really only be good if you grow the right players and sign the right free agents and you develop the players well. Money does not buy happiness, because if it did, the Clippers would have made the playoffs last year. You may say, well, Kawhi and Paul George were injured. They still should have made it because they had that money. Money does not make teams good, from what I've seen. From the data I've seen, if you have an argument, there are a lot of people on TikTok and YouTube that have told me a lot about basketball, and I've learned a lot, so make me learn more. Tell me what you think. Let's talk about James Dolan. I don't mean to pick on the Knicks. I like the Knicks, but the Knicks have gone over the tax line 11 times over the last 20 years, and they've had pretty poor performances. Again, not dumping on the Knicks, but James Dolan in 2005 and 2006 season, he went $60 million over the tax line. His payroll was double what the salary cap was, and the Knicks won 23 games that year out of 82. So money does not buy happiness. You got to know what you're doing. That's the way it is. That's the only thing I wanted to say. I wanted to get one quick jab at the Knicks. I'm kidding. I love you Knicks fans. Be good. If I had a booger, if I had too much sweat or whatever, it's hot. It's hot in LA. Be good to your moms.